Hi, this is Kian, and I'm here with my Chick Sparrow cover housing my Hobonichi and my daily pages. And it is really stuffed right now because I've just been sticking everything in there instead of taking time to actually do the pages. So today I'm going to pull out my Galen Leather Tomoe River paper notebook that I'm using for my daily pages right now, and I'm going to do a little catching up. I've been looking forward to this time to do this for a long time, so I'm very excited today to get around to it. So what I have done is I'm starting with September 10th, and what I have done ahead of time is gather all the little bits and pieces and stick them in the appropriate day. I do have the 11th is already done. I kind of worked hit and miss, but now I'm going to go back and catch up all those pages. So on the 10th, I have here, I roasted some coffee, so I'm wanting to include the label. But I'm also pulling out a bunch of other coffee stickers and printables and such to decide what I want to include here. At the bottom of the page, I know I want to include this kind of cartoon version picture of my granddaughter and her marching band that marched at the high school football game that evening, and so I want to be sure I include that in there. So I've already laid those out, kind of saving a spot for them. So now I'm decided to use this label, coffee label, as a tip-in, and we had kind of accidentally discovered these green version of what we thought were black olives. So that was just kind of interesting, and including these labels is not only decorative, but also when we want to purchase something again, it's easy to go back and look and see what exactly we got. So it's kind of serves a practical function as well as just being decorative and memory keeping in my book. These wildcat paws I cut out of the program we got at the football game, and just wanted to include those in there, just kind of symbolizes where we were at. Now I'm jumping back to the coffee stickers, and these stickers are from Sticky Club, which I enjoy getting each month, and so these are a couple different months worth of coffee themed stickers, and I've just grouped them all together so I can pull them out easily when I want some coffee things. So I'm just kind of pulling out some stickers and adding in onto that label and here and there on the page. I'm using one of my favorite techniques of using, well, in this case I'm using a Tombow marker. I might also use watercolor or whatever else, but to just give myself some journaling lines, and these just kind of help me visually fill in the page as well as give me a guide for my writing. I paused here to pull out another sticker to just kind of add to break up this block a little bit and add some interest. And here I'm getting a sticker out of, I found this sticker book at Target that is just blank stickers. So they have the shape, but then you color it in from there. And here I just pulled out a music note, but my little helmet at the top that I put a 10 on is also out of this book. So there's just a big variety of things you can find in that book. I'm moving on to the 12th, and I put this church sticker down, but then I remembered that I had another piece that I had saved to use on this day. I just thought it was really pretty, and the colors matched the sticker that I put the bottom left that I got from my daughter's Flimsy Fox Etsy shop. So the color scheme on this I thought was really pretty, so I chose a smaller church to put down that would fit on the page here, and trying to figure out where to place it. And I settled in on that spot, and I had another little quote that I was either from Loveland's Life or Pocket Journal Pam, and I'm sorry that I can't remember for sure which. I always get the things from those two places mixed up. I'm a patron to both of them, and I suggest both of them as a great place to get digital collage sheets. That little planner that I just tossed down, I believe was by Jenna Templeton. I also find this cute little, I don't know if it's a bunny or some kind of character, is by Pocket Journal Pam, and it's really cute. And then I also pulled out my vehicles collage sheet from my own patron page, and I'm cutting out a van here because I had to go take some gas to my son that ran out of gas this morning. So I'm using this sticker as a guide and drawing in this giant gas can like it's riding on top of the car. And I often do my sketches in pencil first and then ink them in. Then after the ink is dried, I can go back and erase those pencil lines before I paint it in. Also on this day, I received in the mail, I had ordered some Ecoline brush pens that were a Labor Day special sale online, and those came in this day, so I made some little swatches and am using those on this page as well. I reached for my Tombow markers to kind of watercolor in this gas can. It's just, if I have a lot of detail work, I just find it really easy to use the Tombows, and they're just very quick and easy. So I love using those as watercolor a lot in my journals. I'm pulling out my waterproof black pen again and adding a little bit more. I'm drawing the little box for my Ecoline markers that they came in. I'm using a mild liner brush pen to draw in some of those journaling lines for myself again. And then I'll use a Sarasa, one of the vintage colors. It's kind of a purpley plum color to do my journaling. I had made my Hobonichi order this day, so that's why the little planner's down there, and I wrote a little bit about that, emphasized the word Hobonichi, made it a little bigger. And now I'm going on to the 14th. This little number 14 on the little like post-it note is from one of my printables earlier in the year. It had a whole sheet of all the numbers were like little art supplies. So this big image I'm gluing down, I got from the Origin online, the digital version of the magazine. I like doing that because then I can just print out what I want. Plus it's pretty cheap per issue. I think it's $3 per issue, and each issue has quite a few usable images in it. Plus, if I am printing it out, I can print it out multiple times. I put a quote by Mary Oliver that I liked up there, and then also this Bob Ross, no mistakes, just happy accidents, because I really struggled in my art making today. I have a show coming up very soon, and I needed to be working hard on that, but just nothing seemed to go right that day. So I'm journaling a little bit about that. The Tuesday is from one of my own printable sheets that I added in, as is the little washing machine, to show that I did laundry that day. I added little Subway on the left and the Chick-fil-A on the right because I was so busy working. We ended up getting takeout that day for supper. Drawing in more of my pink lines to journal on. And now I'm pulling out my most used little watercolor set to kind of blend things in on the page and make it look a little more cohesive. I'm pulling out some numbers by James Burke because I decided that card door would be the perfect place to put the date for the next day. So it will just kind of look like maybe a race car or something, number on the door of the car, but also be the day's date. I had a doctor's appointment on this day, so that's why I chose to put the car on there, because it's kind of a rare day that I actually leave the studio and go anywhere. but this was the day that I drove into town, so I put that car on there. I'm using one of my new Ecoline markers to make a border on this page. I really like how subtle the colors are. This particular color is from the skin tone set. So I decided I could journal later, but I used a little sticky note. I looked back in my planner at what I'd done that day, and then used a sticky note to write those things down and left them on the page. And I often do this if I'm not going to be back to journaling until later, and that just helps so much to have an idea what I did that day. I'm using that same marker to draw my journaling lines, and then using some water to kind of wash it out a little bit. Moving on to the 16th, I am looking through what I have saved for this spread on the 16th and 17th and kind of sorting out which goes on what day. And on the 16th, I was home preparing most of the day, and on the 17th, we actually set up and then had the first evening of the art show, the Ottoman Art at Bradley Fair Art Show. I'm using the name tags that my husband and I had there to create a little tip-in flap, and so I put a picture on the back of it that will be a flip, and I'm getting that taped together. I got these new little grid patterned, they're like little chunks of washi, and they're turning out to be really handy to use as little stickers that I can journal on or write on. So I'm playing a little Tetris here, trying to figure out how to incorporate all the things that I had saved to include on this page, and what, if anything, needs left out. And that's always kind of a hard thing, but that is one advantage of the tip-ins. You can see that I moved that one that I got ready out of our name tags, and it will actually end up on another day. But that is the nice thing about tip-ins, is you don't have to feel locked into just what you're doing on that page. Now I saved the little package that Chili's packages their silverware in now, and just cut off the bottom of that to make a little pocket, and to note that we had stopped at Chili's. We got so hot setting up, we just needed a break, and so we went to a nearby Chili's and had some appetizers and just sat and enjoyed the cool air-conditioned room for a while before we went back and finished setting up. My granddaughter's birthday was this day, and we had paid for her to have a horse lesson, which she was real excited about, and she called to thank us while we were there setting up the booth, so that was fun to talk to her for a little bit. I'm using another one of those numbers by James Burke that I printed on clear sticker paper, and use that to label how old my little granddaughter was going to be. I flipped back to the 15th because I realized I'd forgotten to include a photo on there that I wanted to put, so I went back and got that put on there with a quick little note. And then I'm back to work on the 16th, deciding what needs to go on this page. The little stack of washi tape with the 16 and the canvas 17 are both from Patreon printables for my own site, and the sunflowers are from my September Patreon sheets. I have this app called Tune Me on my phone, and it turns your photos of people into the cartoon character version of them, and I have been having a lot of fun with that. And I like putting representations of the people in there in my thing, and it's just a little more interesting way to include the pictures in there. Now I've flipped to the 18th, and I will put my little tip in with our name tags on there. We grabbed a quick breakfast from Burger King that was near where the show was, so I stuck a part of the sack in there, and I'm including pictures from my booth on this page. The art show supplied all the artists with lunch from Jason's Deli, and I put in this little elephant image of a piece of art that I sold that day. Again, these date stickers are from my own Patreon sheets. And on the morning of the 19th, we got breakfast at McDonald's, so I stuck that in there. This label that I'm sticking in now was wrapped around the water bottles. It's from a local coffee roaster business, but I thought it was such a beautiful image that I wanted to include it in there, and I it's so sharp and attractive, so I just put it in because I like it. And then I also add in some more images from my booth. These Day of the Week stickers are from Loveland's Life. I really like them. They're just black and white, very simple, and they're just nice graphic look. So now I'm taking the program from the art show and pulling out what I think I might want to use out of it. I spent a little while trying to figure out how to incorporate all the parts of it that I want, and then end up deciding not to use all of it. I didn't even use the map and everything because it doesn't really matter. I finally do figure out how to incorporate some small bits like this little logo here that I'm sticking on top of our name tags that I stuck in. Trying to figure out where to put this postcard if I want it, where to put the titles still. So I'm still kind of working on what to include where here, which takes me a little bit to make these decisions. Now that I got some of those decisions made where to put those little bits, I'm pulling out my watercolors again, using my water brush to paint on the page and just kind of blend everything together. Got lots of different colors happening, and I just want it to have a more blended look. Now I'm moving back to the 16th, and I'd kind of put off because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this page, so now I've got to go back and get it done though. And so I'm just trying out different bits and seeing what I want to use on here. I literally just found this to-do on the floor and decided it worked well for this page, so went ahead and stuck it on there. And that's probably my favorite way to work in my journals, is just whatever's around and handy is what I stick in. While the watercolor dries there for a little bit, I'm just flipping ahead to see what I have to include in the next pages. And now that the watercolor's dry, I can go ahead and do my journaling on the page. I found some small stickers to include in some blank spots on the page. I'm just one of those people that likes to not have a lot of white space left over when I'm done with the page, so I pretty much try to fill up everything on the page, either with words or images or stickers or whatever. Now I'm just using this bit of colorful mail to cut out a little birthday hat for my granddaughter, and I make one for the little jockey riding the horse as well, since that's what she was getting for her birthday. Now I'm going back in, filling up the little spots with some little stickers and with some journaling, and just adding the final touches on these pages. This 20 I grabbed from some junk mail we got. If something was $20 a month or $20 payments, I'm not sure what. I didn't even look at it, but I did like this real bold 20, so I cut it out, peeled the backing off the cardboard so it'd be a little less bulky, and I'm gluing it in as the date on this day. I recently ordered some Redbubble stickers and have been too busy to even really look at them, but I did remember that I got this pile of sloths that I've used before, and I just love it, and it just kind of represents a little bit lazier day. It was still a work day, but I just did not have to scramble quite as fast, and was able to just, kind of take it easy, catch up on emails and Etsy listings and things like that I've been putting off lately. I made a tip-in out of some packaging for these file boxes that I got to help me get organized in my office, and I also am using this image out of, I believe it's out of Breathe magazine, and with a woman sitting at her computer, but she's looking at these flowers, and I just thought that was appropriate because I was kind of taking time to smell the roses even while I worked on this day, and it was just a much more pleasant day, so that was nice. I had added this tip in from the packaging for these storage boxes that I got, and trying to get myself a little bit organized in the office, and also did some journaling about this day that was a little bit more laid back, and was just a nice break from being in rush mode that I've been in all summer. So I just kind of made the most of the day, just kind of plotted about my jobs that needed to get done. So I still worked, but I just wasn't at such a frantic pace as I have been. I believe this image of the woman at the computer is from the Breathe magazine, one of my favorites, because she's sitting there working at her laptop, but also noticing the beauty of the flowers sitting next to her. And I felt like that was a good visual description of how my day went. On the 21st, it's World Gratitude Day, so I cut out this little thing from the Pipsticks flyer that mentioned that. So I put that in there as a reminder to have gratitude. And the date for 21 is from my own September collage sheet where I have painted hexagon dates. I got in part of my Hobonichi order from Jet Pens, and was going to save it to open later, but I wanted this little bit of packaging to put in here to commemorate that my items did come on this day. So I stick that little package header in, along with a journal that's from my own Patreon pages. So I'm pretty happy that in just a few hours, real time, a very fun work session, I was able to catch up on page from September 10th through the 21st, and I don't feel like I skimped or cheated on any of these pages. I am happy with how they turned out. got all the writing done and everything. And it always surprises me how quickly you really can do a page when you want to. But I didn't feel rushed. I felt like I took my time and really enjoyed the session. So thanks for joining me on this journal with me, and I'll see you next time.